there he is, Charlie Sumner, first year as a head man in the pro game with the Oakland Invaders, and they are playing some kind of football late in this 85 season. Marv Levy, this is what the teams must do if they want to win today's ball game.
Well, Fred, I feel Los Angeles has to protect the passer. They've been sacked 55 times. They've got to stress the short passing game to do that, and they can't give up the big play to those dangerous receivers. Oakland has to run effectively. It'll set up their pass bombs. They have to pressure Young, and they should be able to, and they shouldn't give the ball up in their own territory because L.A. can't go the long way to score.
So, preparing to start this football game on the eve of Mother's Day, Tony Zendejas, one of the finest kickers in the professional football game. Back deep for the Oakland Invaders will be Eric Jordan and Sean Faulkner. Faulkner to the near side, a very dangerous runner. And the ball game is underway. A knuckleball floating into the end zone and out, so it'll be brought back to the 20-yard line where the Oakland Invaders will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. And, of course, the Oakland Invaders are led by a pretty good quarterback by the name of Bobby Hebert. They call him the Cajun Cannon, played his college football in Northwest Louisiana. He's involved right now in a bit of a contract struggle with his Oakland Invaders, thinking about playing in the National Football League, and a man by the name of Al Davis pops up as they say that he would very much like to play for the Los Angeles Raiders.
Well, right now I'll bet his mind is on how he's going to attack the Express.
So the Oakland Invaders have the football 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Albert Bentley, the lone back. In motion comes Holloway. Hebert to throw. Pass is complete. The tight end making the catch for the Oakland Invaders. Making the catch was Mike Schumann. Ed Scott, the right corner there to stop Schumann, but a first down for the Invaders at the 35-yard line. Setting the defense for the Los Angeles Express, we have left defensive end Fletcher Jenkins. George Achika is the left tackle. The right tackle Eddie Weaver. The right end is Ben Rudolph. And we also have a flag down, tacked on, a roughing the passer call against George Achika. The linebackers, Danny Rich, Howard Carson, David Howard. The cornerbacks are Wayman Henderson, Ed Scott. The free safety is Darryl Patillo. And the strong safety is Dwight Drain for the Los Angeles Express. The ball moved into Los Angeles territory at the 44.
Fred, you know, on that first play, Oakland had 4 wide receivers in the game. They've now brought back in John Williams and their tight end, Doug Cousin.
2 backs now this time behind quarterback Bobby Hebert on the 1st and 10 from the 44 of Los Angeles. Just underway here at the Coliseum. The handoff. Johnny Williams, a good runner, as you see. May have the first down as he crosses over the 35 to the 34. John Williams, who played his college football at Wisconsin and was brought here to the Bay Area in the merger with the Michigan Panthers.
He's a fine all-around black. He's a tough blocker and a good receiver out of the backfield, and he can run when it comes time to carry the ball.
Well, they credit Williams with an 8-yard gain, so it'll be 2nd and 8 for the Oakland Invaders. The ball sitting at the 36-yard line of the Los Angeles Express. Banks will split wide to the top of your screen. Holloway splitting down at the bottom of the screen out of your view. The back split behind Hebert on the 2nd and short yardage. That's Albert Bentley, a strong runner for Miami with the first down. Bentley to the 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Oakland Invaders. Bentley was stopped by the free safety, Darryl Patillo.
So far this season, L.A.'s strongest suit has been defensing the run. But here's Bentley taking an underneath handoff, finding a nice hole, heading upfield. He's showing some good moves there.
Out of the ball game for Oakland, number 29, Derek Holloway. Into the ball game, AC, the 3-time All-American at Michigan, Anthony Carter, wearing number 1. He's out of your screen, lower portion right now. In motion, Doug Cozen, the tight end. Pitch to the near side. Williams gets outside. Williams along the sideline. Williams may have a touchdown. Yes, he does. John Williams with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. And on the first drive of the football game, the Oakland Invaders take it in for the score.
It's a toss to Williams. The tight end had been in motion to the side they're going. There are a lot of Express players there, but there aren't many making tackles. It was a very desultory effort so far as the tackling was concerned, in my opinion. All through that drive, we see down near the goal line another tackle, a potential tackler, just not making the play. I believe number 23, Ed Scott, gets his arms around him and falls off, and they're going to have to play with a lot more inspiration if they hope to stay in this game today.
So Novo Bojovic, a very consistent kicker, in to attempt the PAT, puts it through, and it's a 7-0 lead for the Oakland Invaders. So just underway here, and already the Oakland Invaders have a 7-0 lead over the Los Angeles Express. Beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. Bojovic will be kicking to Dwayne Gunn and Kevin Nelson. Gunn will wear number 83. Kevin Nelson, number 3. He's at the lower portion of your screen. Two pretty good return men for the Los Angeles Express, a rather depleted Los Angeles Express running back core.
They are, Fred, and they're having to use people they're going to rely on a lot from the line of scrimmage today. But you really hold your breath that they don't get hurt, but you have to use them.
Bojovic, a native of Titograd, Yugoslavia, who speaks 5 languages, has the ball in the air against a bit of a breeze. Coming up to take it is Gunn. He takes it at the 15. Gunn with blockers in front to the 40. Gunn pulled down from behind at the 48-yard line by the Oakland Invaders. Making the good tackle, Carl Sullivan on the special teams. So Steve Young and the Los Angeles Express will have the football. Steve Young, who last week was pulled out of a ball game for the very first time in his career, now has an opportunity to make amends offensively for the Los Angeles Express. Wide receivers Dwayne Gunn, left tackle Gary Zimmerman, Derek Kennard is a left guard, center is Mike Ruther, Mike Durrett the right guard, the right tackle is Ed Fisher, tight end is Ken O'Neill, JoJo Townsell is a wide receiver, the quarterback Steve Young, H-back is David Hersey, and the running back is Kevin Nelson. The southpaw Young to throw on the very first play. Young, who has the bad knee but likes to scramble, brings the ball into Oakland territory at the 44-yard line, but a flag is down. Ray Bentley made the tackle and may have been a little bit too exuberant in his tackle, and the flag went flying.
Well, the one man they'll protect is a quarterback.
Personal foul, number 50.
You see Bentley, he says, "What did I do?" Well, we'll see what Ray Bentley did.
Bentley certainly feels he's been wronged on this call. Young slides to the ground. Bentley comes in and stops him. I don't know. I think it's calling it a little bit closer than it needs to be called, in my opinion. You shouldn't throw flags that don't really need to be thrown.
The first time that the Oakland Invaders had the ball, they were aided by a roughing the passer penalty. Now we have a roughing penalty called against the Invaders as the Los Angeles Express have the football. Chris Haynes will split wide to the top of your screen. JoJo Townsell is splitting out of your view. In motion is David Hersey, the H-back. Handoff to Kevin Nelson. Nelson to the 28-yard line, and that's about it, as Gary Plummer, the inside linebacker, makes the tackle for the Oakland Invaders. Defensively, the Invaders shape up this way. The left defensive end is Monty Bennett. Reuben Vaughn is the nose tackle today, replacing the injured Tim Moore. Dave Browning is the right defensive end. Linebackers, newcomer Ed Smith is in the outside slot. Gary Plummer inside. Ray Bentley inside. David Shaw is the other outside linebacker. Left corner is Vito McKeever. The right corner, Derek Martin. David Greenwood and John Sullivan, the safeties. On the 2nd and 9, Young to throw, and Young is going to be ripped down, sacked. 56 sacks this year given up by that offensive line of the Los Angeles Express.
Fred, if they're going to succeed, they have to take short drops and deliver quickly. Young coming back, taking a lot of time looking for his receivers now. And I tell you, that line is struggling. Mike Durrett. Oh, the ball came loose there, too. It was knocked right back into Young's hands. That was a fortunate occurrence there for the L Express.
Well, now they say the ball goes over to the Oakland Invaders.
Well, apparently in that melee, it was not knocked back in his hands. I think he's claiming now that it was an act of a forward pass.
Monty Bennett was the key man on that play for the Oakland Invaders, creating the havoc for Steve Young and the Express. Whatever the official says will stick, of course, and the Oakland Invaders will have their second opportunity with the football. And we have 11:55 to play in the first quarter. We'll watch it again.
Take a look again. It certainly wasn't a forward pass. The ball is up in the air. And who comes up with it? I guess there's a scramble going on right now. And indeed, it looks like Monty Bennett, number 91, falls on it. A fumble recovered by the Invaders.
I guess John Hadel really feels fortunate that he still has a team to coach, because just a couple of weeks ago there was a lot of speculation that the Los Angeles Express would fold before that big league meeting that they had back in New Jersey.
They thought it was going to, and they got a new breath of life breathed in, but now they've got to respond and play with some inspiration, not just play out the season.
There's talk in the Los Angeles area that someone will buy the Express, and that there's someone very interested in the team and will buy them after the season concludes, and will move the team not out of the Los Angeles area, but into the Valley, which is a bedroom community for Los Angeles.
Well, there are almost 2 million people out there, and they're very enthusiastic about having a team.
Well, there's the gentleman who has to make the call, decide whether the official was right, and that the football goes over to the Oakland Invaders on a fumble, or whether Steve Young and his argument will hold up, that Young was in the passing motion and that it should be ruled a dead play and no fumble. Let's watch it again, and you be the judge this time.
All right, again, Young now starting to pass. Certainly never starts his arm forward, but hard to tell there whether... Well, they're having a long conference. It's supposed to be a yes or no on this.
Normally, it takes about 15 to 25 seconds for the official word to come down.
You know, I think what he's trying to get is, what's the alternative? In other words, to a fumble.
Well, it was ruled a fumble, and the Oakland Invaders will have the football.
We see it again. Monty Bennett, number 91, is digging it out there as best as we can see. Not real clear. They're charged with a timeout, Fred.
So the Los Angeles Express lose that timeout and the football. That's more important for John Hadel. So Bobby Hebert, who directed his team downfield on their first possession, culminating in a John Williams touchdown run, will have the football first and 10 from the 34-yard line.
4 wide receivers in the game again.
John Higgins is the nickelback on this for the Los Angeles Express. Some pressure for Hebert. Fires the ball complete. Mike Schumann with a reception in the first down. Schumann still on his feet to the 45-yard line of Los Angeles. John Higgins, the nickelback, making the stop for the Express.
Both times that they've had 4 wide receivers in the game, they've gone to Schumann. The Express really did a wise thing there. They can't man up with their strong safeties against a bunch of wide receivers, so they went into a deep zone, but the fact that Hebert had quite so much time to pass allowed those players to find Mike Schumann, specifically to find a hole in that zone.
Mike Schumann, a 7-year pro vet with the 49ers, 78, 79, and 81, Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFL, and the St. Louis Cardinals. Signed over the winter by the Oakland Invaders. 7-0 Oakland leads. We have 10:53 to play in the first quarter. Hebert to put it in the air again. Pass complete. Gordon Banks with the reception. Wyman Henderson, the left cornerback, making the stop on Gordon Banks. However, Banks continues his record in the United States Football League. You see it. Every game the Oakland Invaders have played, Gordon Banks has made a reception.
Let's take a look at Gordon Banks. Just a short out, drives downfield 6 yards, either curls or works to the outside. It's a completion. That, by the way, is the type of game I feel the LA Express is going to have to execute when they are on offense. That short, quick pass game.
The ball resting at the 36-yard line of Los Angeles. 2nd down 2 for the Invaders, who have a 7-0 lead. The backs jump into the eye. Bentley up. Williams back in the eye. Looks like a mix-up as Hebert comes on the bootleg to the near side. Hebert will have the first down as he runs it out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Darryl Patillo, the free safety, running Bobby Hebert out, and it looked for a minute like it was a busted play, Mark.
Yes. Hebert was supposed to pivot the other way. The toss was to the right. Hebert thought it was to the left. But the fact remains, even though it's a busted play, he's able to get outside of Danny Rich, who probably had containment on that side, and get a comfortable gain from the play.
First and 10 for the Oakland Invaders. And they have dominated possession of the football in this first quarter.
Yes, they have. Rich is a tough linebacker against the run, not as mobile in the open field as some other linebackers.
Holloway split to the top of your screen. Just in your screen below is Anthony Carter. In motion is Doug Cozen, the tight end. Hebert airs it out. Holloway in the end zone. Touchdown. No, he dropped the football. Wyman Henderson, the left cornerback, beat and looked for a moment that the swerve back, Derek Holloway, was going to extend himself, make the good catch. However, he couldn't hang on.
I believe, Fred, that he caught the ball here right in his belly, but when he hit the ground, it jarred loose, and so he did not come down possession. I'm wrong on that. Even as we look again, the ball was working its way through. From up here, it looked like he caught it, and that the ball jarred it loose from him. It actually went through the basket provided by his arms.
Again, Holloway, top of your screen. Banks this time split at the bottom of your screen. The backs behind Hebert split on the 2nd and 10. Spinning out of the tackle was John Williams. Still fighting his way, but Williams will lose a few yards as Darryl Patillo, the free safety, along with Eddie Meat Cleaver Weaver, I love that nickname, making the stop for John Adel's Los Angeles Express.
The man who really made the defensive play, caused all the rhythm to break down, was George Achika, who got some good penetration, and from that point on, the pursuit was able to make the tackle.
Holloway out of the football game for Oakland. Carter in. Carter will come splitting to the bottom, or to the left side. Top of the formation on your screen is Gordon Banks, 3rd and 11 for Oakland from the 31. Incomplete. Intended for the diving tight end Doug Cozen. Dwight Drain, the strong safety, was on his back for the Los Angeles Express.
It was pure man-to-man coverage. Dwight Drain, who the Express coaches say is a very underrated player, doesn't get the recognition he should receive when he's surrounded by those other bigger names, made a fine play in covering Cozen. Cozen, their tight end, has only caught 4 balls.
So Novo Bojovic, who was a hero in Michigan with the Panthers, has developed into one here with the Oakland Invaders. Will try a 48-yard kick. He's 3 of 6 this year, but between the 40 and the 49. The kick is high, but I don't think it's going to go. It's wide to the left side. So the Oakland Invaders failed to cash in on an opportunity. They still lead, however. 9:41 to play in the first quarter. They lead 7-0. First and 10 for Los Angeles. That's Nelson with the ball for the Express. Kevin moves it up over the 35 to about the 36-yard line. That name Nelson is quite a pro football name. His brother Darren plays for the Minnesota Vikings.
Both of them had great careers in college, one at Stanford, one at UCLA. L.A., by the way, and that particularly down, Fred, was in a 2-back set, something they haven't done a lot of this year, but John Hadel said they would be forced to use in this game. Again, they're coming out the same way.
Short gain on the 2nd down. Dale Brown, the right end, making the tackle. Kirby Warren, the first-year pro from the University of Pacific, carried the ball for Steve Young and the Express. Warren broke a pretty good running back's record at UP. A fellow by the name of Dick Bass. He broke all of Dick Bass's running records there. And Bass, of course, a fine player for the Los Angeles Rams.
Bass at one time held the single-game rushing record in the NCAA.
3rd and 2 now for Los Angeles from their own 39. Nelson trying to sweep it out and pick up the first down. May have it. He was hit by Gary Plummer, the 3rd-year pro from the University of California. Of course, California, the school just up the Nimitz Freeway. California Highway 17, just a few minutes. A lot of Cal players on this Oakland Invaders team.
They must have 10 or more. It's one of their territorial schools, but Stanford is too, and they have relatively few Stanford players. I believe Gordon Banks may be the only one.
Kevin Nelson did pick up the first down to the 42-yard line of Los Angeles. 7:48 to play in the first quarter here in Oakland. The Invaders leading in the football game 7-0 thanks to a John Williams touchdown run. Lone setback is Nelson behind quarterback Young. Some pressure again on Steve Young. He's going to take it himself. Young trying to get outside. He does. Out of bounds at the 46-yard line, maybe the 45, depending on where the official marks the football. They say 45-yard line. Steve Young, of course, has had a really troubled season. Knee surgery. He's had problems with his thigh, his ribs, and Steve looks like the bionic man when you see him getting ready. He's got a brace on his knee, a flak jacket, everything to protect himself.
Yes, he has all that, and I tell you, it's tough to ever get a passing rhythm, Fred, if you're always looking to see if you're going to have to scramble, and that's being the case here. A quarterback alone cannot carry the load on a team that's going to be any good.
The ball on the 45-yard line. They have to get 7 for the first down, and we have a whistle. Flags. Charging off was Monty Bennett, the left defensive end, and he's saying that the Express pulled him off, and that's the case.
Number 67, offense.
Ed Fisher, the right tackle, moved, and Monty Bennett took advantage, charging across.
Well, Bennett's been putting on a lot of pass rush, and undoubtedly a pass play from Fisher's initial move, and so Bennett, and so Fisher was primed to protect against the man he's having a problem with, and moved early, wasn't concentrating on the count. He's a veteran, 9-year National Football League veteran.
2nd and 12 for Los Angeles, their own 40. Young has some time, rifles the ball, incomplete. A good defensive play by Derek Martin, denying the pass intended for Dwayne Gunn. Martin, a 4-year pro from San Jose State.
Gunn running a hook-up pattern. Martin's right with him. He wasn't driven deep by Gunn's initial move. That's what you're trying to convince the corner you're going to do. You're going to run a deep route. Corner would drop back, but no cushion there by Martin. He's right on him.
3rd and 12 for the Express. Just a perfect afternoon for football. A little bit breezy, but nice. And in the 60s as we started the football game, 62 degrees. Great for the players down on this natural surface field. Ball resting at the Los Angeles 40. They have it 3rd and 12. Pressure for Young, coming around and nailing. Steve Young was Angelo Snipes. Snipes came from the outside left and just barreled in on Young and got him.
Totally unblocked. He was totally unblocked on the play. There was a blitz up the middle. They used up all their blockers. Kearney released too many men, and again, with those blitzes coming, with so many rushers, you have to have that short pass game.
Rick, that means Jeff Partridge will come into punt. Partridge will kick the ball away from his 22. Back deep, Bobby Futrell, along with Sean Faulkner for the Oakland Invaders. They're standing at the 25. Jeff, who did his college kicking in Washington, averaging a little bit better than 40 yards a kick. Poor kick. The ball will take a Los Angeles bounce, however, and go out of bounds at the 28-yard line of the Oakland Invaders. So we have 6:53 to play in the first quarter. Oakland leading the Los Angeles Express 7-0. Talked to Lee Corso yesterday. Lee says he's giving his team off tomorrow, Mother's Day. He's going to go visit his mom down in Miami. So the Orlando Renegades will have the day off to celebrate with their moms.
Well, they've had a long week of practice, and that'll refresh them, too, sometime. I agree with that type of move.
1st and 10 for the Invaders, who have a 7-0 lead. From their own 29-yard line, that's Cozen, the man in motion. Blockers in front of John Williams. But the Los Angeles defense did a good job of stringing Williams out and forcing him out of bounds. Andy Mellentree there, the lead man. Mellentree, who was replaced as a starter by Danny Rich this afternoon at the linebacker spot, but he strung it out that time. A short gain of 3 for John Williams.
Mellentree's been nursing a sore ankle. He's a very mobile linebacker. They like him. He normally would be the starter, and they got him in there to play anyway.
6:48 to play, first quarter. 7-0. Oakland leading the football game, and they have the football. 2nd and 7. The ball at their own 32. Cozen in motion again. Hebert looking, dumps it off. Pass complete to Holloway, and Holloway run out of bounds by Ed Scott, the right cornerback. 3rd and 4 now coming up for Oakland.
LA beginning to play a lot of zone defense, trying to react, and I think they have to. If they try to match up man-to-man against those great receivers, they're going to succeed a lot of the time, but not enough. They'll get hit on some bombs that'll cost them big.
On the third down at the 35 of Oakland, the Invaders have that football. Bentley, along with Williams, split. Williams at the bottom of your screen there in the backfield. On the third down passing situation, Hebert lofts the pass, incomplete. Intended for Gordon Banks. Banks stuttered with his steps at about the 50-yard line, and as he stuttered, the ball sailed over his head.
It was an optional pattern. He's supposed to read the defense. Banks read the defense differently from how Hebert read it. The result was they didn't hook up at all. Looked like he was badly off the mark.
Now we'll get a look at the man who has led the United States Football League in punting, Stan Talley, a two-time All-USFL player. Talley gets the snap with Gunn waiting. Oh, beautiful spiral. Gunn retreating to his 14. Hits into his own man, but bounds away. Out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Good run that time after a fine punt. Dwayne Gunn taking it upfield. So with 6:23 to play in the first quarter here at Oakland, the Invaders lead the Express 7-0. In the East Bay area, the Los Angeles Express trailing in the football game. Numerous injuries this year. 11 knee operations on the team. One of the knee operations to their quarterback who has the football, Steve Young. Young fires the ball. The pass complete to David Hersey. Hersey hit by Ed Smith, the newly acquired linebacker. Smith acquired by Oakland this past week from the Arizona team, as Smith was expendable down there, but Charlie Sumner, the coach of the Oakland Invaders, said anytime you have an opportunity to get a man who's been a two-time USFL All-Star, you do it.
We had great regard for Smith. By the way, LA on that last play started Hersey in motion, brought him back into the flat, and hit him on a quick sprint out. This is what they have to do.
And he gained 5 yards on that first down. Again to Hersey with the first down. Hersey this time. He was tackled by Ray Bentley. But a first down for the Los Angeles Express at the 47-yard line, their own 47.
It's nothing more than just sending a tight end in motion, going into the opposite flat, Young sprinting. If the outside man rushes Young, he throws it. If the outside man falls off, Young will run with the ball. They've got something they should stick with, maybe not every down, but frequently.
That's JoJo Townsell, who was split wide to the top of your screen. Hersey, the H-back, in motion to the bottom of your screen. Now he switches his field. Young to throw on the first down. Rifles the pass complete to Townsell. Picks up 7 into Oakland territory at about the 45. Outside linebacker David Shaw to stop him.
Again, a quick 1, 2, 3, 5-step drop, hitting Townsell on a hitch pass, and this is what they have to do and are beginning to do, it seems like, to move the ball.
John Hadel told us that they would make some adjustments this week because of the quick drop of Steve Young.
Well, he said Young was getting back so fast the receivers hadn't finished their routes, so he was going to shorten the routes, but that was just a total quick play.
Young with the eye behind him on the 2nd and 4.
Nelson, the ball carrier.
Gives it to Nelson. Nelson tripped up as he hit the line of scrimmage, still managed a 2-yard gain. Again, Ray Bentley, a USFL All-Star linebacker, making the hit for the Oakland Invaders. Ray Bentley's name is called often when you do an Oakland football game.
It is. Last year, the finest linebacking corps in the league was the Michigan Panthers, including Bentley and Coakley and
John Corker,
and Carlton Rose. But I thought Bentley was the best of the group. He is really a fine player. Was picked as the MVP in the MAC, a defensive linebacker.
The Mid-American Conference, a fine, underrated football conference. 3rd and 1 for Los Angeles. Hersey in motion. Nelson with a football and the first down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line on the skin of the infield. Derek Martin tackling Kevin Nelson along with Ed Smith.
Coming up over the left side, their best performing lineman has been number 56 at left tackle, Gary Zimmerman. Zimmerman fires off. You see his number there, clearing quite a swath for Nelson, who's now beginning to emerge as their leading rusher, counting last week's game. And they're finally in good positive territory.
Kevin Nelson is finally shaking the ankle injury that has bothered him all year.
Ed, you got the tight end.
Lone setback. In motion is Hersey. The pitch coming to Kirby Warren. Warren inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line. David Greenwood, the fine, strong safety for the Invaders, there to apply the hit. Greenwood, another member, a key member of that Michigan Panther crew that won the first United States Football League championship in 1983.
Of course, the Invaders aren't going to use him to punt because they have the very talented Stan Talley, but he is a fine punter, did all the punting for the Michigan Panthers and gives them good backup in that area.
The year he punted for Michigan, averaging better than 41 yards a kick. 2nd and 5 for the Express. Again, Hersey in motion. Young rolling, looking downfield, rifles the ball, broken up by Derek Martin, and we have a flag. Interference will be called against Martin. May have gotten a little too aggressive as he broke that up.
He came in over the top of Chris Haynes on that play. Haynes had hooked up. It's the same pass they've been throwing to David Hersey in the flat, but Hersey was well covered on that one.
So the flag is down, and we'll have the call coming up. And let's watch it and see the problem that Mr. Martin had.
Young firing for Chris Haynes. Derek Martin has been giving awful tough coverage on those hook patterns. Is up over the top illegally. Good call.
So it'll be first down for Los Angeles at the 19-yard line of the Oakland Invaders. The Invaders lead in the football game 7-0, 2:36 to play in the first quarter.
It's been a very good drive, sprinkled an occasional run in with a nice, crisp, short passing game.
Steve Young, the $40 million man, the great contract signed last year with the Los Angeles Express. Looks like he's checking off on the 1st and 10. Pressure. Young with the great speed. Will he escape it? He does. He fires downfield, incomplete. Nobody around the football when it went down. The fans want intentionally grounding the football, but it won't come.
They won't call intentional grounding if you put the ball downfield like that. Do all they want, they're not going to call it. Young saw a potential blitz. He started to check off, and then they pulled out. They didn't blitz after all.
So you see that flak jacket that Steve Young wears to protect his midsection. Steve's got the brace on his knee. It's just been a tough season for Steve Young. And, of course, everybody looks to him to lead the franchise. And with the physical problems he's had, he hasn't been able to do it. 2nd and 10 for Los Angeles. Pressure coming. Young lost it to the end zone. Incomplete. Pass was intended for Chris Haynes. Leaping with Haynes and breaking the play up was Vito McKeever. Actually was overthrown for both, but McKeever was there giving enough problem for Haynes to prevent him from possibly making the exceptional catch.
Here we get a look at it from ground level. Young really just puts that ball up, and I think he almost purposely throws it too long so that it won't be intercepted there. Awfully tight coverage by the Oakland Invader defensive backs. They appear to match up very well with LA's receivers.
Well, it's not surprising that Oakland plays that rugged defense when you consider their head coach, Charlie Sumner.
Well, there's a lot of the stamp of the Oakland Raiders or the LA Raiders on this team.
3rd and 10 now for Los Angeles. Again, Young to put it in the air, but he will get an opportunity. Steve doing a great job eluding the pressure to the 15. Inside the 10, may have the first down as he's pulled down at the 8-yard line. Great individual effort by Steve Young. Vito McKeever, the left cornerback, finally wrapping up the great from BYU.
Well, he did that one all alone, but you're not going to win when the quarterback alone has to completely carry your football. He's getting great heat here. Reuben Vaughn, 77, is the first one that shows in the picture. How Young eludes some of these people, it's hard to know, but he does.
And he picks up the first down, 1st and goal to go for the Express from the 7-yard line of the Oakland Invaders. The Invaders lead 7-0, 1:15 to play in the first quarter. Young. Long count again. Maybe checking off once again. Has pressure, is hit and dropped by Ed Smith. Smith in there quickly to tackle Steve Young and drop him back at the 16-yard line.
They're bringing a lot of linebackers. Ed Smith, 54, his first start. Pushes away the man blocking him there. Number 49 on the play, seeking to get a block on him.
Kirby Warren couldn't hold the block.
You know, this is another problem the Express have with their passing game. Their backs are all very small, and they've got to pick up these linebackers on blitzes, and they're going to lose too often.
It's 2nd and 17 now for the Express. They have goal to go. Kirby Warren, the man who missed the block, trying to get it into the end zone, but he's held up at the 8-yard line. He fumbles the football, but after the whistle, Ray Bentley and John Sullivan combining their talents for the Oakland Invaders. 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. We're winding down to the end of the quarter. The Oakland Invaders, on their very first possession of the football game, march the field and let John Williams, on a fine run, take it in for the touchdown. Of course, Novo Bojovic added the extra point, and that's where we sit. 7-0 Oakland. And there it is, the gun ending the first quarter. So, here in Oakland, the Invaders leading the Los Angeles Express after the first quarter, 7-0. Oakland Alameda Coliseum, where the homestanding Invaders have that lead by a touchdown. However, the Los Angeles Express have it 3rd and goal from the Invader 8-yard line. Incomplete, intended for a spinning Kevin Nelson. Nelson trying to get his nose pointed to the goal line, just couldn't hang on to the football.
Couldn't do it. He should have been dropped immediately by Derek Martin covering. Young looked deep, but the deep receivers were covered. He puts it out a little bit behind Nelson in the flat, and closing in was not Derek Martin. It was number 21 Oliver Davis, who they bring in nickel situations.
Now here's the young man you said is probably the best kicker in pro football, Mr. Tony Zendejas.
We were talking before the game, and I said that. I really believe he is, except he's helped in comparison to the National League kickers by being able to use a tee.
He's going to try one here from 26 yards out, and he's perfect inside the 39-yard line this season. You can keep that record intact. So it's a 7-3 football game with the Oakland Invaders hanging on in the beginning of the second quarter over the Los Angeles Express.
Well, I guess it is. I didn't learn that until I was about 23 years old.
But we don't live in the rest of the world. We're here in the good old US of A. Tony Zendejas, who played a lot of football, or soccer as it would be, when he was growing up, born in Mexico, but raised in the Southern California area, split his time between kicking a football and kicking a soccer ball, will boot the ball for the Los Angeles Express. We have Sean Faulkner and Eric Jordan deep. The ball taken by Jordan, and he is tackled from behind at the 23-yard line. Making the hit, Kevin Turner for the Express. And there's the way it went in the first quarter for the teams.
Well, one of the big things that jumps at me, of course, is L.A. sacked 3 times. Came into this game having been sacked 55. And it's allowed Oakland to take the narrow lead that they have.
Another surprise to me is the fact that the Oakland Invaders are number 1 against the run, and Los Angeles has run the ball pretty well against the Invaders.
They've run it pretty well. Quite a bit of it has been the quarterback, of course, Steve Young.
7-3 is the score. Oakland leading Los Angeles on just underway second quarter here in Oakland. That's Banks in motion. Fake. Anthony Carter with the football, and is he exciting once he gets the football? Carter not allowed any running room, even though he tried to stutter step his way downfield, stopped at the 29-yard line.
Carter starts upfield, driving at his corner, and you better believe that corner will give him a lot of ground. Comes back, it's called a hitch screen is the name of the play. He's supposed to duck back in behind those linemen who are sprinting out there to help him, which he does, able to pick up a good gain.
6 yards for Anthony Carter. You know, Marv, the Oakland Invaders started out like a house of fire. First possession, took the ball downfield, scored easily, took the 7-0 lead. Now the Express playing a tight football game.
I see a little complacency. That score was almost too easy.
We talked about it at the beginning of the ball game. Hebert, shy of the first down. Dwight Drain making the hit on Albert Bentley. Georgia Chica also there. Bentley is a young man that you know a lot about. When you were with the Blitz, you had him as their #1 draft choice, but you couldn't get an opportunity to sign him.
Well, we were in the same situation that the Express are this year. We drafted Bentley as our #1, thought he was a great back, couldn't sign him, so we traded him. We traded him away for John Arnaud, who was a good safety man. He's here now helping the Invaders.
And last season, of course, he signed with the Michigan Panthers, and he came here to the East Bay with the merger of the Panthers and the Invaders. 3rd down 1. Hebert complete to Anthony Carter for the first down at the 37-yard line. Andy Mellontree there to make the hit on Action Central. Anthony Carter. Carter, a 3-time All-America for Bo Schembechler at the University of Michigan, and I had the pleasure of broadcasting Michigan football for several years while Anthony was there, and boy, did he make things exciting.
I was going to say, you must have called his name a lot. That was a beautifully delivered ball. Carter has very soft hands. He's not just one of those burners. He's a total receiver, one of the finest blockers, even though he's only 162 pounds to play the wide receiver position.
Sometimes I question whether he weighs 162 pounds. When you see Anthony, he's reed thin. Hebert aloft it. Carter out there. Carter's going to go for the touchdown. He'll just have a walk in the park to the end zone. Anthony Carter with a touchdown from Hebert. Bobby Hebert has now tied Freddie Masana for the most touchdowns in the season for an Oakland quarterback at 21. Ed Scott beaten badly.
Get another look at it. Hebert really throws his pass falling away. It's a play-action fake, feeling pressure so he doesn't set himself. It's still a very nicely thrown ball. Scott takes a swoop at it with his hand. Carter watches it in. Makes it look like an easy touchdown, but only a fellow like him can make it look easy. Here we see the matchup again.
Carter run the easiest 62 yards of his life here. Actually about 32 yards. Once he gets beyond the defender, just a walk in the park on a Saturday afternoon.
It was a little jostling, and as Scott looked back, he began to lose his balance. Couldn't run with Carter anymore and tried to sweep at the ball with his hand, but to no avail.
Freddie Masana, the backup quarterback, will hold for Novo Bojovic, who no longer has garlic in his sock for good luck. The kick is up and good, and the Oakland Invaders have now taken the lead. The Oakland Invaders lead the Los Angeles Express with 11:59 to play in the half, 14-3. Marv Levy, you don't find too many teams with receivers who have averages like that.
There's 3 of them, all wide receivers. Carter's is bigger than that right now. That was coming into the game.
Anthony Carter, a name that Los Angeles Express don't want to hear anymore. He scored 4 touchdowns against them this season, 3 on pass receptions, 1 a fumble recovery in the end zone in the previous game, 1 by the Oakland Invaders down in Los Angeles.
Another thing he's capable of doing is running a reverse. Here's the kickoff.
Bojovic kicks it high. Gunn will take it at the 5. Outside at the 25. Wow, he was hit at the 32-yard line. Tumbling him down was Wes Howell, a wide receiver who plays on the special teams.
This fella at Cal was a starter for 2 years, I understand, on their basketball team.
He only played 1 year of football for the Bears, the Golden Bears. You know a little something about the Golden Bears, too.
The sturdy Golden Bears. Once had the honor of coaching that club, a fine institution.
So you're at home here in the Bay Area.
Oh, very much so, Fred.
I didn't see you get any home-cooked meals, though.
No. I've got to ask you a question later about something you said about Bojovic.
14-3. Oakland leading. Los Angeles has the football, 1st and 10 from their own 32. Young with a bullet out there. The pass is caught. The completion to Dwayne Gunn as Steve Young really laid it out there. A good catch that time by Dwayne Gunn with some pressure.
They battled each other all the way on this one. Young, for once, getting a lot of time, and he really left arms the ball out there. Gunn has his man beaten.
Incomplete. The pass was intended for Kirby Warren. Too tall for Warren. And actually, it looked like for a moment there that the Oakland Invaders had a better chance for that football than Kirby Warren did.
Went off of Young's fingertips, just went over him. Warren started to go up and then pulled his arms down, thinking that maybe it was for somebody cutting in behind him.
See Steve Young's stats on the afternoon, not the most spectacular. Young windmilling his left arm as he looked over to the bench. I wonder if something happened to pull it. But he looked like a pitcher who has arm problems. He was just windmilling it around.
Well, he could have strained it a little and just loosening it up to be sure.
Ball at the 22 of Oakland on the second down. Something has done so often. Young on a scramble. Run out by Ed Smith. Very little gain that time for Steve Young, if any. As once again, he received a lot of pressure from the Oakland Invader defensive line and linebackers.
They're bringing their linebackers a lot. They dog their linebackers. You know, there's a distinction. You hear the term red dog and you hear the term blitz.
Right.
More and more, Fred, coaches refer to the fact that when you bring linebackers, you're red dogging, or they shorten it to dog. When you bring a safety or a corner, that's a blitz. At least in the lexicon of many staffs, not all of them.
It's interesting, you know, because when you talk about it, you talk red dog, blitz, and you think it's synonymous.
Not really.
10:46 to play in the first half. Los Angeles with the football, and Los Angeles quarterback Steve Young is corkscrewed into the ground. Angelo snipes there, and for the second time this afternoon, we may have a roughing the passer call. Young gets up tentatively to
face
save.
mask, 5 yards, number 77.
That's Reuben Vaughn, who replaced Tim Moore as the starting nose tackle for Oakland. Charlie Sumner, the coach there, can't believe the call.
See if we can detect it. Here comes red dogging Angelo Snipes from the outside, number 59. And now Reuben Vaughn grabs that face mask with his left hand and does pull him down to negate a very fine sack effort by Snipes and Vaughn himself.
Reuben Vaughn, a third-year pro from the University of Colorado. Sometimes that happens. You really don't mean to do it. Your hand just grabs onto the nearest thing, and it's the face mask and the penalty.
It's a natural reaction. I would say that by far the great majority of face mask penalties are inadvertent, and that's why they distinguished several years ago between an inadvertent 5-yard face mask and a purposeful 15-yard.
Right.
So it'll be third down and 10 for Los Angeles from the Oakland 22. Incomplete. Young hit his receiver, Wayne Gunn, but Derek Martin was there. Gunn could not hang on to the football again. Zendejas, Tony Zendejas will come into the football game, and that's been the story ever so often for the Express. They moved the ball downfield, stymied, and the exercise for the right leg of Tony Zendejas.
Well, this will be his 25th attempt this year, and 15 of those attempts have been from outside the 40-yard line. He's barely outside a 40-yard attempt. This will be a 39-yard attempt, so it doesn't add to that number.
So Zendejas, who played his college football at Nevada Reno, awaits the snap, kick out of the hole to Partridge. The ball is down, the kick is up toward the uprights, and good. 10:09 to play in the first half here at Oakland. The Invaders leading the Express by a 14-6 count. Zendejas will be kicking off to Faulkner and Jordan. Jordan to the near side. Faulkner to the far side. Faulkner averages almost 25 yards a kickoff return. Good kick by Zendejas will be taken by Jordan at the 4. Got a lane out the outside. Protecting that lane and making the hit, however, was John Warren. Had Warren not been there, it would have been by Mr. Jordan.
Jordan really is a smooth runner. He didn't accelerate. It didn't look as if he accelerated till he turned that corner, but he just floated along, got them all bunched in the middle, and then outside he went.
Yeah. Eric Jordan was the #1 running back for the Oakland Invaders last year. He had quite a game against your Chicago Blitz, over 180 yards.
Not only that, he was most of the way there after one play. He went 85 yards on the first play of the game.
But now Eric Jordan mostly relegated to the bench by John Williams, but we see Jordan will be in there this series as he wings on the left side. Albert Bentley is the lone back behind Hebert. Bentley with a football. And Albert Bentley moves the ball up at least 9 yards as Eddie Weaver, the right defensive tackle for the Express, combines with White Brain for the stop. Albert Bentley, of course, played in that Orange Bowl game in 1984 for the Hurricane of Miami and Coach Howard Schnellenberger. In fact, He scored the touchdown that won the ball game in the final seconds for Miami and gave them the national championship.
Instant fame for Albert that night.
Second and 1 for Oakland from their own 40-yard line. Cozen in motion. Jordan with the football, still on his feet, has the first down. Eric Jordan, who played his college ball at Purdue, picks up the first down despite David Howard's hit. It'll be first down for the Oakland Invaders. The ball sitting at the Oakland 44-yard line.
Jordan, of course, only rushed the ball 41 times this year after being their leading rusher a year ago. It's a tough thing. Two fine backs came in Bentley and Williams, and then Jordan missed part of training camp, which put him behind those two very steady and tough players.
He's missed the training camp because of a contract dispute. Still hasn't signed a contract for next season, since he's talking to several NFL teams. Hebert to throw on the first down. Holloway out there, incomplete. Knifing across was Ed Scott to break up the play.
Bobby Hebert threw that one into coverage. It would have been very tough to complete that, and even if it was caught, that one would have been out of bounds.
I'll tell you, I thought when I initially looked at that there was no way Holloway could get to the football, but the speed and the quickness of that little guy, he was out there and he almost had the reception, but as you said, if he'd have caught it, it'd probably been out of bounds anyway. Going to have the nickel back in there again. 5 defensive backs. John Higgins, number 20, joins the defensive secondary on the 2nd and 10. Banks in there, Holloway in there, and Carter in there at wide receiver for the Oakland Invaders. Jordan gets the football on a draw. Jordan to the midfield, and that's it. A gain of 6 for Eric Jordan. Dwight Drain, the second-year pro from Oklahoma, stopping Eric Jordan, the 6-foot, 210-pounder.
This is a lead draw. See the fullback go first, number 32. He leads the play through the hole, and Jordan waits for the ball to be brought back to him. You get an extra blocker on a linebacker by doing it that way.
14-6. Oakland leading Los Angeles. 7:53 to play in the first half. Here are the East Bay at the Oakland Alameda Coliseum.
3 wide receivers again.
Here Bobby Hebert there as he drops the throw. Pass out there, Holloway there, makes the catch on the skin of the infield at the 20-yard line. First down for the Invaders. Dwight Drain beaten by the speedy Derek Holloway, the third-year pro from Arkansas.
Well, see, that's a situation where they had 3 wide receivers against a normal secondary, and the strong safety has to cover somebody that a corner should be covering. It was a situation where probably Nichols should have been in the game. Fine concentration there by Holloway because Drain was closing on him fast.
Of course, last year after Anthony Carter unfortunately broke his leg for the Michigan Panthers, the duty of wide receiving fell to Derek Holloway. He performed very well, and he is doing the same in 1985 now with the Oakland Invaders.
You know, something that the Invaders don't do much with guys like Holloway and Carter and Bank is run reverses. They would be, I'd run 1,000 with these two guys. They're doing fine without running them, but they're dangerous on that type of play.
We have the tight end in there again in Cozen. Williams was in motion. Quarterback Hebert looking downfield, intercepted and dropped. Intended for number 1, Anthony Carter. Dwight Drain had it drilled into his gut and then dropped the football.
That was a strange drop. He had it. Let's take a look at what happened. He had it, and I thought he was starting to move it up under his arm, and the ball just slipped out. There it is, right in the breadbasket, and he sort of tries to adjust it and took his eye off the ball, and the next thing he knew, he's picking it up off the ground.
Of course, Bobby Hebert breathed a sigh of relief.
When things go right, they go right. The thing that impresses me about Hebert so much, over the 3 seasons, he has a very excellent touchdown pass to interception ratio. Many more touchdown passes than interceptions. That's one of the great ways in which you gauge the type of quarterback.
How'd you like to be defending Holloway and Carter both on the same side, top of your screen? 2 dangerous receivers. That's Jordan winging on the right side. Handoff to Bentley. Bentley eludes 1 tackle, but he is nailed down by Howard Carson, the veteran. David Howard missed him as Bentley went 360 on a spin, but then Howard Carson wrapped up Albert Bentley.
I tell you, David Howard doesn't finish making the tackle here, but he's playing a fine game. He gets there, and there's some good effort by Bentley, and it's certainly enough to let Carson get over there. I think Bentley would have just as soon have had Howard bring him down. Lost that guy in, really gave him a lick.
Loss of 2. Ball at the 22 of Los Angeles. 3rd and 12. Again, the nickel pass defense for the Los Angeles Express. Hebert dumps it to Holloway. Holloway stutter stepping. Has to get to the 10 for the first down. He is denied the 10-yard line. David Howard, the right linebacker, hitting Derek Holloway, and it depends on where the official spots the ball as to whether there's a first down or not. It's going to be shy, and you hear the fans saying go.
Well, the fans always want you to go, and I believe they are.
Yes, we see the tight end Doug Cozen coming back into the football game. John Williams is also in there. We'll see if number 45, Tom Newton, is in there. He is. Tom Newton is the short yardage man for Charlie Sumner's Oakland Invaders. Number 45, the 8-year pro from California.
The scoreboard says 4th and a yard, but there's only about a foot, maybe 10 inches to go. They should be going for it.
We'll see if number 45 gets the football on this 4th down. Newton's got it. First down for the Oakland Invaders inside the 10-yard line. Down to the 7 for the Invaders.
Newton hitting very tough over that left side behind Wiska, that left guard, and Ray Pinney. And Newton is a fine short yardage runner. Picks it up, no doubt about it.
Howard Carson finally stopping the 238-pound Newton.
Actually, playing at left guard was Reggie Irving, number 65, who they play a great deal of the time. So was Irving and Pinney, who provided the blocking on that play.
With 4:18 to play in the half, Oakland leading 14-6. The Invaders have it 1st and goal to go from the Los Angeles 7. Williams, touchdown, 2nd of the afternoon for John Williams. So John Williams, who scored on the first possession for the Oakland Invaders, gives the Invaders a 20-6 lead here with 4:05 to play in the half.
Over the left side again, where they had so much success in tough territory. Same 2 men blocking. The fullback, Albert Bentley, leading the play. You know, you love to have this type of duo at running back. This is the Kick-Saka combination, the Taylor-Horning combination, where they can all run, they can all catch, and they can all block. It's a very unselfish relationship that's developed.
Bojovic puts the 21st point of the afternoon on the board for the Oakland Invaders. So a little bit more than 4 minutes to go in the first half here in Oakland. The Invaders lead the Los Angeles Express 21-6. Novo Bojovic puts the ball high for the Invaders. Nelson with the football up over the 15 to the 20, a flag down. Nelson stopped at the 22-yard line of the Los Angeles Express. Rich Dixon stopping him for the Oakland Invaders, but a flag was thrown. We could have a possible clip coming up.
Clip, illegal use of hands, blocking from behind.
Here's Steve Young trotting on the field.
On the return, illegal block in the back, number 20 of the return team.
John Higgins called for the penalty.
Fred, what were you telling me a while ago about garlic and Bojovic?
Novo Bojovic, for the past 2 seasons, previous 2 seasons, Novo would put garlic in his right sock as a sign of good luck. And apparently in Yugoslavia, his native land, that brings good luck, garlic. It keeps a lot of people away from you, but also brings good luck. But in the off-season, Novo said, really, I'm a good kicker. I don't need any kind of good luck charm. He takes the garlic out now, and he kicks without any garlic, and he also has a lot more people sitting around him in the locker room.
He also found out that a good snapper and a good holder is good luck.
That's right. The ball brought back to the 13 for the Express following the penalty. 1st and 10. Young throws it. Good catch that time for the LA Express. Catching it in heavy traffic, Ken O'Neill, who is starting and playing in place of Gordon Hudson. Hudson, the tight end, last week fractured his left arm, and the people in Los Angeles and around the league felt Gordon Hudson was becoming maybe the premier tight end of the United States Football League. Then against Tampa Bay, the fracture of the left arm.
And beyond that, his backup, Mike Sherrod, is out with a hamstring.
Just 38 players ready to play this afternoon for the Los Angeles Express. Following the gain of 8. I should say 10. It's a 3rd and 5. Tackled immediately was Kevin Nelson. Ray Bentley there to down Nelson at about the 13-yard line.
Take a look at Bentley on this. Bentley takes a little bit look at what might happen inside. And when he starts coming, it's a locomotive. 250 pounds, picture tackle, back on his feet, ready for the next play. This is a fine, classic linebacker.
Playing in the MAC conference one season, I think it was back in 1980, Ray Bentley single-handedly made 23 tackles against Bowling Green. What an afternoon. 3rd and 10 for Los Angeles. Pressure coming for Young. It may have been tipped as he throws it. Broken up by the Oakland Invaders' Vito McKeever. The ball may have been tipped as Young fired it downfield, creating a slowness on the ball as it went downfield. Let's see if it is.
Yeah, it appeared to me from up here that it was, Fred. Here we see him deliver. There's left hand of that lineman going up. Whether he hits it or not, I don't know, but it is fluttering. Very quick close by McKeever. Avoidance of a interference. Knocks it away from Dunn.
So that means Jeff Partridge will be kicking from his own end zone on the 4th and 10. Sean Faulkner, a good return man, is deep for Oakland at the 45-yard line. Partridge with a bit of a breeze in his back. Low spiral. The ball hits at the 45 of Los Angeles, takes an express bounce inside the Express 45 to the 44-yard line. Down there by Los Angeles will be 1st and 10 for the Oakland Invaders from their own 44-yard line. 2 minutes exactly. So the 2-minute warning here to go to the half. Oakland 21, Los Angeles 6. Like in the first quarter that the LA Express could play with this Oakland Invader ball club and keep it close, but in the second quarter it's been all Invaders.
Well, the Invaders right now appear too strong. LA really can't get the time they need to pass, and they're not even connecting in their short ones.
Again, the nickel defensive backfield for the Express. Holloway is in motion. On the 1st and 10 for Oakland from their own 43. Hebert over the middle. Holloway can't hang on, but a flag is thrown. A flag down. Back in the backfield at the 35-yard line. We may have a hold upcoming. Or we could have another roughing call. I guess it's best to just wait and see.
That's a wait and see, but I'm going to guess and say it's holding.
Holding, number 74, offense.
That's the vet Ray Penny, the 9-year pro, Ray Penny. You see, Ray really agreed with that call.
There in the upper right of your screen, Ray Penny locked up there with Ben Rudolph. They're dancing. It's hard to tell whether he held or not on the play, but it depends what angle you're looking at it from.
So 10 yards tacked on, brought back to the 34-yard line. Let's call it the 33 to keep things even. 33-yard line of the Oakland Invaders. 1:55 to play in the half. The Invaders lead 21-6 over Los Angeles. Thanks Holloway and Carter all in there for the receiver for Oakland. Hebert complete to Holloway. Holloway brings it to the 48-yard line. Howard Carson hitting Holloway at the 48 and stopping the play there.
Deep drop zones. Weber did a very good job of reading the timing. And here they're going hurry up offense.
1:30 to play in the half. Hebert to put it in the air again. He has time. Incomplete. Flag down. Will be a pass interference call against Wyman Henderson. Pass was intended for Gordon Banks, and Henderson was on the back of Wyman Henderson.
Well, Henderson's objecting, but it appeared from up here that he interfered. He was trying to get to the ball, but he was just pushing his way through the intended receiver on the play. No question about that. Banks had no chance at all because of the contact that Henderson was applying.
So it'll be a first down for the Oakland Invaders. The ball brought to the 36-yard line of the Los Angeles Express.
You know, usually pass interference in this league with a 15-yard penalty minimizes the gain. You don't get the full 40-yard attempt, but this was only like a 6 or 7-yard attempt, yet there's a 15-yard penalty, so that worked to their disadvantage, to the Express's disadvantage, I should say, in this particular instance.
Carter and Holloway will split to the top of your screen. Banks out of your picture at the bottom of the screen. First and 10 for Bobby Hebert. In and out of the hands of Derek Holloway at the 20-yard line. Dwight Drain was trying to keep up with Holloway. He couldn't, but Derek just could not make the reception at the 20.
You know, that's a mismatch when we're talking about man-to-man pass coverage. It's no put down to Dwight Drain. He's a fine, strong safety doing the things a strong safety should do. But when he has to cover man-to-man against Holloway or a Banks or a Carter, and the quarterback has time to throw, there's no way he's going to come out on top.
John Williams, the running back, out of the football game for the Oakland Invaders. We'll have Holloway and Banks splitting to the right side. Carter top of the screen. The tight end Doug Posen is also in the ball game. Albert Bentley is the lone setback. Second and 10. And apparently some confusion for the Oakland Invaders, and Bobby Hebert wisely calls a timeout. So 1:17 to play in the half. Oakland leading Los Angeles 21-6. We have 1:17 to play in the half. Oakland with the football at the 36 of Los Angeles, second and 10. 287! Hebert lofts it to the end zone. Carter out there, broken up at the final second by Ed Scott. Carter had beaten Scott, had to slow up just a bit as the ball approached the end zone. Had Hebert been able to put a little bit more on the football, Carter would have had 6.
And the ball was behind Carter a little bit. I don't necessarily mean short. Carter started to break to the post. Hebert felt a little pressure and fell away from the throw. Carter tries to look back out against Scott, is able to flick it away this time. Again, we see the end of it. He just pushes it away with his right hand. John Higgins coming over, the nickel back, to try and give him some help. But he would have just been there to watch the celebration.
Football in the skin part of the infield. Of course, the Oakland A's play here. Third and 10 now for the Oakland Invaders. 36-yard line at Los Angeles. On the third down, Hebert eludes Fletcher Jenkins. Throws the ball downfield to Holloway. Holloway, however, will be tumbled down by Darryl Patillo. Patillo looked like he was in a rodeo with one of those steers as he ripped Mr. Holloway to the ground at the 35-yard line. Let's call it the 36.
Well, when you're going to get mean, you might as well pick on a guy 5'7", 165.
43 seconds to go in the half. And a 4th and 5. They mark the ball at the 31-yard line. And Novo Bojovic will attempt a 49-yard kick. How difficult is it coming from the skin part of the infield, Mark?
Some kickers will just blot it out of their mind. It shouldn't affect them.
Kick is high, kick is long, and the kick is good for Novo Bojovic. The high fives for Novo.
You know, he's had 3 for 3 from plus 50. Here's one from 49. Remarkable.
Off the tee, Bojovic lifts it high. A young man born in Yugoslavia. Go, 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 go. And he got it.
It's tough off the skin infield if you've got garlic in your shoe, I'll tell you that.
And if you don't have a kicking team.
That's beyond.
Or the block, I should say.
You don't have protection, right.
So 16 seconds to play in the half. Oakland now 24, Los Angeles 6. And Dwayne Gunn and Kevin Nelson will go back deep as Coach John Hadel has his arms folded and probably thinking to himself, what can I do here at halftime to spark this team, to get the guys really into the football game?
Well, you know, it goes beyond that. It isn't always just motivation, of course. Sometimes it's very difficult to come up with the answers when you're outmanned. I think they are today. The injuries have taken their toll, and there is an erosion of morale that takes place when all these things happen to you. You don't just all of a sudden turn it around.
Of course, last week, John Hadel and his quarterback that he's talking to right now, Steve Young, had a private conversation after the football game, and Hadel explained to Young why he pulled him from that Tampa Bay contest.
Yes, you know, Steve made the comment, I've never been pulled from a game before, and as I said to you, he'll never be able to say that again. And it happens to all of them. John Hadel, a fine quarterback, has been taken out of games.
Bojovic kicks it high but short. Nelson takes it at the 10. Nelson is hit but still maintains balance to the 25-yard line and a flag down at the 25. John Sullivan making the stop for Oakland. Some tempers flaring down there as Mike Schumann of the Oakland Invaders talking to the official.
Foul. Unnecessary roughness.
So the personal foul charged against the Oakland Invaders. The ball will be brought in the favor of the Los Angeles Express to the 40-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Express. They only have 11 seconds. 11 seconds to work with here in the first half, and they trail 24-6.
Don't whine it now.
The Invaders came into this game having been penalized 87 times, which is very high. I think it's third highest in the league.
I got a flood of receivers to the near side. 3 receivers split wide to this left side.
This is the classic Big Ben play coming up. 3 of them go deep, and you take your chances.
It's down to 7. Young with some pressure. Steve Young will take it on the run himself to the 45 and out of bounds at the 47-yard line. And that's it. The end of the first half here at the Oakland Alameda Coliseum. The Invaders dominating the Los Angeles Express by a 24-6 score. Statistically, Marv.
They certainly are. Look at the passing yardage difference. Hebert hooking up with those fine receivers, of course, and a lot of time of possession. And even though it doesn't show here, the sacks really favor the Oakland Invaders.
Just before the football game, Marv Levy, you give us your coach's keys. Let's see how true they are and how they're working out for John Hadel of Los Angeles and Charlie Sumner of Oakland.
Well, right now they're not protecting the passer nearly well enough. 4 sacks and a lot of scrambling. They tried to stress the short passing game, but honestly haven't been that successful. They've given up 2 big plays, a touchdown run to Williams, a touchdown bomb to Carter. Oakland has run effectively. 83 yards for a half is good production. They put good pressure on Young, as you can see, and they haven't given the ball up at all in their own territory, and that's why they're up 24-6 right now.
The Los Angeles Express having trouble to getting the ball beyond that 30-yard line of the Oakland Invaders.
They really haven't started in bad field position, like 48, 32s a couple of times. They've realized a couple of field goals out of it, but their drives either once a fumble and otherwise they just run out of downs, get stopped.
That's been their story all season. Now the Oakland Invaders, on the other hand,
2 very quick strike drives, Fred. 4 plays and a touchdown, 4 plays and a touchdown, starting from relatively deep in their own territory, and they've dominated in time and ease of moving the ball.
And Novo Bojovic will kick off to get the second half underway for the Oakland Invaders. Bojovic really lays the wood into the football. Kevin Nelson in the end zone will not come out. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Los Angeles Express from their own 20-yard line. Steve Young trotting back onto the field. Of course, Steve Young, a great at BYU, and what great quarterbacks they've had down there for LaVell Edwards. You've had McMahon, Wilson, Nielsen, and of course Steve Young, a runner-up in the Heisman Trophy balloting.
They've got a pretty darn good one there right now, too, and it's young Robbie Bosco.
1st and 10 for the Express. That's Nelson. Outside, he has the first down with speed. Nelson cannot break it for the touchdown, but he picks up a first down for the Los Angeles Express at the 44-yard line. John Sullivan, the free safety, coming to the sideline to get Kevin Nelson out of bounds.
Again, up over the left side, Gary Zimmerman and Derek Kennard, number 70, leading the blocking. Gary Plummer, number 51, the inside linebacker, trying to move in there, but Derek Kennard gets to him and gets help then from Mike Ruther, who slips off of his initial block.
Just underway, second half. Express with the football, 1st and 10. Nelson, who just picked up a big chunk of yardage, gets the football again, brings it to the 47-yard line. Gary Plummer, the inside linebacker for Oakland, there to stop.
You know, Fred, even though you're being dominated the way the Express have been, and everybody in the stands say this is a mismatch, as a coach and as players, you go back in that locker room and say, if we can just get a good drive at the outset of that second half, we're back in the game and we can turn the momentum in our way, and they've come out looking like they mean business.
Townsell coming to the bottom of your screen, top of your screen split. Dwayne Gunn, 2nd and 8 for the Express. You hear Steve Young barking the signals. Draw Nelson close to the first down into Oakland territory at the 46. Oliver Davis making the hit for the Oakland Invaders, and we're going to have a measurement to see whether Kevin Nelson picked up the first down for the Express. They trail in the football game 24-6.
If I can pursue the thought I was making a moment ago, when you say we're going to get back in the game, you say we've got to do it the tough way. We're going to come out and show them we're tough, and they start to run the ball, and you stick with it even though on first down you didn't gain much, and they do pick up a first down there on that lead draw play that they just ran.
The big play twice for the Oakland Invaders, a long touchdown run by John Williams, a touchdown pass covering 62 yards, Hebert to Anthony Carter. Williams with another touchdown run, short this time, and then Novo Bojovic with a field goal. And Zendejas, 2 3-pointers for the Los Angeles Express. Townsell coming to the bottom of your screen split. Dwayne Gunn, top of your screen. The eye behind Steve Young. Nelson gets the fake. Young wants to go with a throw. Over the middle, the pass caught. First down at the 32-yard line. Dwayne Gunn with a reception. John Sullivan, the defender, with a first down for the Los Angeles Express.
Now the first down pass on it's a play-action fake. Not much of a real fake on it. Young finding Gunn down the middle, who makes a nice catch on the ball because he's surrounded by defenders. But they come out, I think they tried to examine their pride a bit at halftime and said that they're a little bit ashamed of how they performed that first half. We're going to play in the second half hard, and they've certainly shown that in the early going.
Get why one.
1st and 10 for Young and the Express at the 30-yard line of Oakland. Kirby Warren with the pitch. Warren coughs up the football out of bounds. The possession will stay with the Los Angeles Express. Ray Bentley making the hit along with David Greenwood. Let's watch it here as Kirby Warren goes outside right.
Dan Dubiago, number 71, who is not their starting tackle, pulls and leads the play. Unfortunately for the Express, the ball bounces out of bounds. That's quite an effort by John Sullivan to keep the ball back in bounds.
However, despite the fumble, the Express pick up the first down at the 20-yard line of Oakland. Nelson, very short gain, maybe a yard. Stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Ed Smith coming from the linebacker spot to close any hole that may have opened. Now we have a pushing, shoving match. Doug Holly there, big number 99 for the Invaders, doing a little bit of conversation with his opposition on the Express. Gain of 2, they mark it for Kevin Nelson. 2nd and 8 for the Express. They trail in this football game 24-6. We're just underway, second half. Steve Young on the afternoon. Well, a very little gain on that one for Kirby Warren. Gary Plummer right there. And again, we have some tempers flaring. This time, it's Monty Bennett who who has unpleasantries to exchange with a member of the Express.
Well, you know, Fred, I think that the Invaders sense the Express are fired up and that they got a lot of chatter and a lot of energy sparking off of them. And those people who are somewhat leaders say, we've got to show the same. And they're doing some of that and hope that their own teammates realize they better get it up.
3rd down and 7 now for Los Angeles. The ball resting at the 17-yard line of Oakland. Young wants to go to the air. He's got pressure. He gets away. Downfield with a pass, incomplete. The closest man to the football was Dwayne Gunn. He was behind the goal line. The pass bounced at about the 7-yard line. That was a case of Steve Young just wanting to get rid of the football.
Just wanting to get rid of it and retain pretty good field goal position. This is the big problem, of course, the Express have when they have to come up with a big play. They're just not strong enough to protect, and they just are fighting for their lives on it. And come once again to the old standby, the field goal attempt by Zendejas, but those 3-pointers aren't going to be enough if they have to continue doing this.
So Tony Zendejas, who has 2 field goal kicking cousins by the name of Joaquin and Luis Zendejas, will try to kick his 3rd field goal of the afternoon. Fake. Partridge throws the ball incomplete. The pass was intended downfield for the Express, Andy Mellontree, but Partridge threw it behind him. So the fake doesn't work, and the Oakland Invaders will have the football. 11:02 to play in the 3rd quarter here at the Oakland Alameda Coliseum. A really unhappy Steve Young. They get the ball down inside that 30-yard line, the Express offense, and then they can't move the football and have to settle for the 3-point opportunities, or as they just did, a fake.
Well, they don't have the strength to be able to reflect consistency, and they don't have the deep threat. So if you're lacking both of those, you're really struggling uphill the whole game.
So Bobby Hebert and the Oakland Invaders will have the football 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
You know, Fred, the reason so many teams use a backup quarterback to hold is they feel he is an effective man on the fake. They have Rick Partridge, who's basically a punter. It's difficult to run a fake when you've got your Steve Young over there on the sidelines.
11:02 to play in the 3rd quarter. Looks like the clouds, the typical clouds of the San Francisco Bay Area, are starting to roll in here as we approach 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the East Bay. Cozen in motion. John Williams. Williams, a gain of maybe 1, and then John was wrapped down by David Howard, the right linebacker.
Again, they're going up over that left side, Fred. Ray Pinney, number 74 in blue, fires out on the linebacker there, gets right into him, turns him to the outside, and even though there's not a big gain on the play, he certainly did his job and paved the way for the short game.
3 yards picked up by John Williams, who came out of the University of Wisconsin. Not too high a prospect, really, but he's really played his way into the hearts of USFL football fans. Hebert dumps it over the middle to Bentley. Bentley at the 24, stopped again by David Howard, the 2nd-year pro from Cal State Long Beach. Howard's really been a big surprise for the Los Angeles Express, becoming a starting linebacker.
He emerged from the pack last year in training camp and has gotten better and better. They really have problems on pass defense if they can't get a rush on Hebert. The linebackers must drop deep to take those wide receivers. They did it then, and then Bentley had a lot of room underneath them all. Hebert had time to hit him.
Nickel defense for the Express. 3rd and 2 for Oakland from their own 25. Hebert rifles the pass. Carter with the 1st down. The reception at the 33-yard line. John Warren and Darryl Patillo beaten by AC Anthony Carter.
3rd down and 2, a drop back pass. Running the hook pattern to Carter. It's all hook, and he'll just take a scan on the field, try and put it in between the zone. Carter makes a nice catch, but the ball wasn't right in his chest. It was off to the right. He lunged for it. Very soft hands.
Anthony Carter, who holds the records for the Wolverines of Michigan in catches, receiving yards, touchdowns, and points, making the reception for the 1st down for the Oakland Invaders. 1st and 10 for the Invaders in their own 33. Hebert going long. seconds by John Warren, but a flag is down. Again, had the ball been out a little bit longer for Hebert, he had beaten, I should say for Carter, he had beaten the defender, but it was just underthrown by that hair, allowing the defensive back to get there. And then we have the flag thrown.
Well, the ball was dying. There have been too many. Here's a penalty here.
It's going to be going against John Warren. My lip reading course coming into effect here.
Too many instances, as I was saying, where Carter is left one-on-one against a defender. It's just a foot race, and here's Carter. Warren's giving him a big cushion, but Carter just has greater natural speed, and he's by him. You can see number 37, Warren, straining. If the ball hadn't been underthrown, he wouldn't have had a chance.
And you could also, even in slow motion, see that Anthony Carter had slowed down so that he could get under the football. The ball at the 48-yard line, 1st and 10 for Oakland following the interference call. The Invaders lead 24-6. 8:25 to play in the third quarter.
Run!
4 wide receivers.
Bentley grabbed from behind at the 45, and again a flag down. Eddie Weaver holding on to the ankles of Albert Bentley for dear life. See if the official's microphone is working this time. Okay, the official's mic is, we get word that it's out, so it's going to be a holding call against the Oakland Invaders. I tried to read the number, but I just couldn't make it out.
I couldn't read his lips on it. You know, that offensive set wasn't much different from the run and shoot. 4 wide receivers. Everybody loosens up in the secondary. Everybody's yelling pass. Everybody's dropping off, and they hand off, and it's a pretty good gain had it not been for the holding penalty.
Speaking of the run and shoot, I'm interested to see what happens tomorrow in Memphis when the Houston Gamblers take their run and shoot in against Pepper Rogers' Memphis Showboats.
Well, we saw the Showboats, of course, a few weeks ago do a crack-up job against the Denver run and shoot.
1st and 14 for Oakland from their own 44. That's Holloway in motion. Fumble. The ball fought for may have been recovered by the Oakland Invaders at the 45-yard line. Yes, the ball was recovered by Jordan. He fumbled it, and he fell on it.
It's that lead draw that they've been running on several occasions, Fred. You see Bentley leading through the hole. There's the handoff to Jordan. He has it. He just never got the handle on it. It was placed in perfectly, and his hands were right, but he just never secured it.
2nd and 13 now for Oakland.
Good running down.
Holloway and Carter split to the top of your screen. Banks to the bottom of your screen. Hebert wants to put it in the air. Hebert scrambles out of pressure. Looks downfield. The pass complete. Good catch. Backing away. Derek Holloway. He has the first down. Dwight Drain there, but Holloway with the first down at the 35-yard line of Los Angeles.
The replay on it, the reason I say good running downs, you know you're going to get a lot of pass rush, but Hebert under a lot of heat is able to get free, and once he does, we have that matchup again of Holloway 29 against Drain, and Holloway is very quick, catches the ball, and the sideline is there, but it's a first down after having that holding penalty, having 1st and 20.
Well, just a bit of an example as to how Bobby Hebert was named USFL Player of the Year back in 1983 as he led that team to the first USFL title with the Michigan Panthers.
Very good stats again today.
Doug Cozen coming back our way. Jordan still on his feet to the 29-yard line. John Warren stopping a juking Eric Jordan. Jordan looked like a fighter there, bobbing, weaving, trying to get away.
He's slippery, very smooth. It looks effortless when he makes those moves. He played in the same backfield at Purdue with Mel Gray, the leading rusher on the Express, who, because of an injury, is not seeing any action today.
2nd and 5 for Oakland. The ball at the 30-yard line of the Los Angeles Express. 6:20 to play in the third quarter. The Invaders up 24-6 over the Express.
219!
Bentley goes goes nowhere. George Achika and Eddie Weaver combined to stop Albert Bentley. George Achika from the third-year pro from the University of Southern Cal, and Meat Cleaver Weaver played his college football with Herschel Walker at the University of Georgia.
Here's Achika unblocked on the play coming in, and then Weaver, also number 61, making the stop. They went nowhere.
Of course, Eddie Weaver played on that 1981 national championship team for the Georgia Bulldogs. Third and 5 from the 31. Quick pass, Carter. No good. John Warren defending. The angle in intended for Carter. Anthony wanting a call from the official, apparently, as he has his hands on his hips at the 15-yard line saying, well, what's got to go on here? He smiles and he comes off field.
It was a timed pass all the way, and it was an audible. Maybe some of the viewers and listeners could have heard Hebert give a red, which is a live color apparently, and a number, which was the pass pattern that was run.
Novo Bojovic once again played his college football at Central Michigan. Will attempt a 49-yard field goal. Bojovic has it angling, and it is good. Novo Bojovic good once again. 27-6. The Oakland Invaders now lead the Los Angeles Express. 5:18 to play in the third quarter. Head Oakland coach Charlie Sumner told us this week, Marv Levy, that he feels his team is reaching its peak of consistency, and that's what he was concerned with, the consistent play.
That was the word that kept coming up in our pregame discussion. And they're showing it tonight. No turnovers, good marches, good defense.
Novo Bojovic booms it high. Nelson fumbles it at the 11. And then he's ripped under at the 13-yard line. Kevin Nelson stopped by Rich Dixon, among others, for the Oakland Invaders. So with 5:09 to play in the third quarter, Oakland in front of the Los Angeles Express, 27-6. Steve Young and the Express will have the football first and 10 from their own 13 when we return. As you see, the Oakland Invaders dominating the Los Angeles Express. A little bit more than 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Express with the football. Steve Young gives it to Nelson. Nelson could have been dropped for a loss, but he kept going, got it up over the 15, maybe to the 16-yard line. Monty Bennett, the 6'4", 276-pound left defensive end for Oakland, making the hit on the 5'11", 191-pound Kevin Nelson.
Despite the one-sided nature of the game, Fred, I'm impressed with how hard Kevin Nelson keeps playing and running the ball and competing. It's a credit to a player when things are looking as dim as they look for this club that he plays with such enthusiasm.
Kevin Nelson is the number 4 all-time rusher for the UCLA Bruins. He just gained 3, second and 7. Pass complete to Kirby Warren. Warren with a first down and more at the 30-yard line, driven out by Oliver Davis.
Remember the lead draw that they ran earlier in the game. This is a fake of the lead draw. The idea being to get the linebacker to step up. When he does, the fullback slips by him into the flat. Linebacker's not there to cover. He's wide open. The big trick is don't get tackled by the people rushing it. The quarterback don't get tackled. But that was a successful play. It's a play-action pass off of a lead draw fake.
First down. Young to go skyward again. He airs it out. Incomplete. The pass intended downfield, and it was just overthrown as Derek Martin was defending. The pass was intended for JoJo Townsell.
That was just one of those you go deep patterns, and Martin matched up. Here's Kevin Nelson, number 3, picking up the blitz by the outside linebacker David Shaw on that play. An old UCLA man going against a Cal man. They love that type of battle. And Kevin came out okay that time.
The Golden Bears and the Bruins have had some pretty good football games.
They certainly have. It's quite a rivalry, but the Bears and Stanford, of course, is the big rivalry here in the Bay Area.
In the Bay Area. 2nd and 10 for Los Angeles from their own 30. Young may be checking off. Almost intercepted. Cutting in front of the intended receiver was Derek Martin. You see Derek, who had interception number 5 in his hands and couldn't hang on.
I've been very impressed with Derek Martin's play today. He is really plastered, meaning got right next to those receivers. He all over Townsell there, times the pass well, did everything but catch the ball.
Derek Martin, 2 seasons with the Oakland Invaders. He had a couple of seasons in the Canadian Football League with Toronto and Montreal.
You'll see plenty of passes in that league.
So we have a flag down again. And going to go against the Oakland Invaders, a first down for the Los Angeles Express. I did not see the flag.
I didn't see the flag, nor do I know what the penalty is for. But it is one, I'll tell you that. I know there is one. That it's a first down and at 15 yards we're marked off.
Now we get the word of personal foul charged against Oakland, so it's a first down for the Los Angeles Express at their own 45-yard line. They trail 27-3, 3:36 to play in the third quarter. Young airs it out, a long pass, incomplete. Vito McKeever making the defensive play on Dwayne Gunn, preventing the big play for the Los Angeles Express.
Well, the Express are just trying to get a big one back, as you can tell. They threw to Townsell a moment ago. Here they're going to Dwayne Gunn. Vito McKeever covering on Gunn. You almost got to get a little lucky to complete those when you're being that well covered. I've been impressed with the work of the corners of the Oakland Invaders today.
Here's Dwayne Gunn, who thought he had a big gain, only to have it snatched away by Vito McKeever in the final seconds of that play. In motion is Haynes. May have a flag on the offside. That's Nelson still with a football into Oakland territory at the 47. We have a flag down. Carl Sullivan may have been a little bit anxious as we saw him fire across the line before the snap for the Oakland Invaders. Sullivan, the second-year pro from San Jose State. Talking to Steve Young, the great-great-great-grandson of Mr. Brigham Young. So the penalty will go against the Oakland Invaders. Marked off 5 yards to the 50-yard line. That'll be 2nd and 5 for the Los Angeles Express. Out of the football game, Kirby Warren. And David Hersey is back in the running back slot for the Express. Townsell splitting to the bottom of your screen. Gun at the top on the 2nd and 5. Young to throw. Rifles the ball. Batted in the air. Incomplete by Ed Smith. And now we have a flag down again. Tempers flaring. Vito McKeever and David Greenwood. McKeever is keeping Dwayne Gunn away from David Greenwood. Greenwood still yelling something at Gunn. Now those two played, of course, in the Big Ten. Gunn at Indiana and David Greenwood at Wisconsin. So they may have an old feud from the college days.
Maybe that's what maybe it harks back to that. It may hark back to what happened on this play, more likely, however.
No.
Here we see it. Okay. Ball tipped high in the air there by
Ed Smith. Look at that. It looked like a little bit of a punch thrown by Dwayne Gunn.
Gunn trying to keep the ball from being intercepted.
Offsetting penalties will be called, probably against Gunn and Greenwood. So it's just like a play over, a do-over.
Well, it's a little bit like I'm feeling now. I don't know exactly what happened, and when the officials don't know exactly what happened all the way, you're both guilty.
That's it.
Throw 2 flags. Nothing's different. Now, I don't know if Greenwood gets up and retaliates after that, which is possible, and if that is the case, the double penalty doesn't mean much.
Still 2nd and 5 for Los Angeles. The ball directly at midfield. The Express trailing 27-6. Just about 2:46 to play in the third quarter here at Oakland. 198. Young pumps. Now he's gone long. Out there is Townsell, overthrown. JoJo Townsell was open. The ball overthrown. Vito McKeever was racing to get to Townsell, but he would have been helpless had the ball been on the money.
Young sort of holding his right elbow. Means maybe someone hit him as he delivered the ball.
It'll be a fourth down. So Partridge comes into punt. Sean Faulkner, the first-year pro from Western Michigan, will stand at the 10-yard line awaiting the kick for the Oakland Invaders. Partridge, whose brother Rick kicks for the New Jersey Generals.
His brother Rick has kicked for just about everybody. He's been about 10 or 12 teams and punts well.
Partridge gets a good snap, spirals it. The ball will hit at the 10, and then it will be downed at the 3-yard line by Chris Haynes. So with 2:24 to play in the third quarter, the Oakland Invaders lead Los Angeles 27-6. Good schedule coming up tomorrow in the USFL. A game that will be very interesting to Oakland Invader fans in Memphis tomorrow with the Gamblers there, the Stars and the Generals, the Bandits and Jacksonville in the Battle of Florida, and then the run and shoot of Denver against Arizona. First and 10 for the Invaders from their own 3. Hebert to throw from his end zone. Lofts one out. Banks is open. Overthrown at the 50-yard line. Just out of the reach of Gordon Banks. Wyman Henderson defending, but Banks had beaten him.
He had beaten. And a remarkable thing that we're noticing in this game. Well, let's look at the replay first. Here's the ball airborne. It's well out in front of the two men chasing it. Banks begins to widen the gap he has on his defender, but it's just over his fingertips. But on these long passes, the Invader wide receivers are getting past the corners, and conversely, the LA Express wide receivers are unable to beat the Invader corners, Steve.
And one reception for Gordon Banks continues his streak of having caught a pass in every Invader football game. Second and 10. That's Bentley. Albert continues to drive, even though Georgia Chica, the 6'5", 290-pound left defensive tackle, was there with other Express members stopping Bentley. But, boy, he's got a lot of leg drive, and at 208 pounds, 5'11", he's built, and I mean put together well.
Very well-built young man. We had him in for a physical in Chicago, and remarkable physical attributes that he has. He hasn't carried the ball much in this game. They've stressed the forward pass a little bit more than has been the case with Oakland recently.
Well, we have the nickel back. John Higgins in for the Los Angeles Express on the 3rd and 5 from that Oakland 8. Hebert into his own end zone, looking down, fires. The pass is batted around and incomplete, intended for Albert Bentley. Wyman Henderson also had a shot at the football. So it'll be a 4th down, and it breaks a string for the Oakland Invaders. Their previous 4 possessions, they had gotten on the scoreboard. Now this time, on the 4th and 5, they'll have to punt it away.
Well, starting on the 3-yard line, that would have been quite an accomplishment to run that streak to 5.
Stan Talley from Texas Christian. His longest kick this year rocketed 76 yards. Lone safety back, Wayne Gunn for Los Angeles. 1:06 to play in the third quarter. Talley, end over ender. Brings it up to the 47-yard line. It'll be stopped there, and the Los Angeles Express will have the football in very good field position. Under a minute to play in the third. Oakland 27, Los Angeles 6. You see Oakland with a domination on the scoreboard, and total yards here in the second half have gone to the Express.
Express it was a fine defensive series they just turned in.
Steve Young, with his first possession in Oakland territory to start a drive, fires the ball complete. Nice catch by JoJo Townsell. Vito McKeever back there, but the ball was thrown perfectly, and Townsell kept his feet in and flopped.
Young took a long time to deliver this ball. We get a look at Townsell now driving up, hooking. Young is really looking away from him, comes back to him late, puts the ball along the sideline. Townsell does a good job of keeping his feet in bounds, as you said, for a sizable completion.
Just like the drill, you keep those feet there and flop.
You do drill that every day with those wide receivers.
33 seconds now to go in the third quarter here at Oakland. That's Hersey in motion. Coming around this side is Nelson, a flag down. Nowhere. Kevin Nelson stopped, but flags all over the place. Randy McClanahan, there's a name out of the past for Oakland Raider fans, making a stop for the Invaders. I'm
going to make a guess. David Hersey in motion appeared to me to block the outside linebacker above the waist.
Illegal use of the hands, number 89, they charge on the Los Angeles Express, and I cannot find the number 89 on the Express, so maybe
it was 81, I think. 80.
Could have been Hersey, as you called.
Yes. I saw him. Now, whether the official saw it also is a different story, but he was in motion, coming in from the outside, and he blocked his man from behind. Even though he was on the line of scrimmage, you can't do that if you're in motion from outside in.
So the ball is brought back to the 45-yard line of Oakland. First and 20 now for the Express following the 10-yard penalty. Gunn will split to the bottom of your screen. Townsell to the top. 15 seconds to play in the third quarter. Maybe one more play for Young in the quarter. Kirby Warren over the 45, inside the 45 to about the 43. David Greenwood and Doug Holly combining. And there it is, the end of the quarter.
There's McClanahan, number 57 in blue, being blocked again by Derek Kennard, number 70. 56, Gary Zimmerman really levels him there. He's all tied up with Kennard, and then Zimmerman let him have it.
So we're heading to the fourth quarter now with the Oakland Invaders leading Los Angeles 27-6. Fred Banfer along with Marv Levy on this USFL game. Oakland leading 27-6. Los Angeles with the football, 2nd and 17 from the Oakland 42. Steve Young is going to be sacked. Steve Young absolutely snowed under back at his own 48-yard line. Coming in, Randy McClanahan along with Angelo Snipes.
They really are bringing their outside backers a lot, and these small backs can't really stand up to it. Kirby Warren trying to do a blocking job on Snipes, but he can't hang in there on it.
Of course, the Los Angeles Express offensive line came into the ball game allowing 55 sacks, an abysmal number, and now they've allowed at least 5 more today, 60 on the season.
Well, also, Fred, the point I just made, the backs contribute to that, and Young appears to hold the ball a little bit too long on occasion, but he's looking to run so often that I can see why he does.
They mark the ball at the 49-yard line of Los Angeles, 3rd and 25 for the Express. Kirby Warren tripped up as he crossed the 50 by Randy McClanahan. And they blow the play dead at the 49-yard line. 4th down. Partridge will be in again. And the young man Sean Faulkner will go deep for the Oakland Invaders, along with Bobby Futrell.
That was the first time they got the ball on the plus side of the 50-yard line and weren't able to do anything with it, which is really burning an opportunity.
Wayne Jones will snap it back to Partridge. Good snap. Partridge approaches it. Hangs it high. Nice spiral. Fair catch called for and made at the 14-yard line by Sean Faulkner. So it'll be 1st down for the Oakland Invaders. 27-6. They lead the Los Angeles Express. And the Oakland Invaders have been awesome here today, as they have a 27-6 lead over the Los Angeles Express. Here in the fourth quarter, 13:29 to play. Bobby Hebert showing no ill effects from that mild concussion he suffered last week that knocked him out of the Orlando game. The quarterback gives it off to Bentley. Block for Bentley. Bentley's still on the ramble. First down and more at the 29-yard line. David Howard wraps Bentley up around the buckle and tosses him down.
Bentley here carrying John Williams, his running mate, coming in getting a fine block. Coming out with an excellent block out in front by number 65, Reggie Irving. And they use all 8 of the offensive linemen on their roster a great deal. Lots of rotation.
We talked about that earlier before the ball game, Marv. You said you did that in Chicago for one specific reason.
Well, we did it because they were equal in ability. If you had injuries, you had somebody ready, and it was great for morale.
First and 10. Here comes Jordan. Jordan is tugged down from behind by Andy Mellentry, who fought off a block to make that tackle.
It was a good play by Mellentry, but again, Reggie Irving, the left guard, number 65, was out in front of the play. Look for them to begin to run the ball. They won't abandon the pass completely, but run the ball with greater frequency here in the fourth quarter with a comfortable lead. They'll try and burn the clock now without taking big chances.
12:08 to play in the football game. Bobby Hebert, the kind of afternoon any quarterback would love to have.
That 9.7 per attempt was what was impressive to me.
In motion is Banks. Long count by Hebert. Fakes the pitch. Gives it off. Stop. Hit hard. Eddie Weaver ripping down the Oakland ball carrier. John Williams was hit hard by Eddie Weaver.
It was a counter play. They fake a pitch. Now watch Weaver, number 61, moving away from Wiska. The play takes a long time to get back there, and he makes a fine tackle. Wiska did a good job at the outset, but it took a long time to get there, and Weaver was ready for him by the time he shed his blocker.
Picture perfect tackle by Weaver as he stuck that helmet right where it's supposed to be.
That's the way it is on the back of the cereal boxes. That's right.
11:10 to play in the football game here in Oakland. Bobby Hebert from Northwest Louisiana. Lives in Cutoff, Louisiana. Throws. Pass complete. Out of bounds immediately. The receiver for the Oakland Invaders, Ed Scott, hitting Mike Schumann out of bounds immediately. So it'll be a fourth down, and that means Stan Talley, who last season booted one an unbelievable 89 yards in a football game. He must have got a lot of roll on that one, Marv.
Charlie said he's been getting some good rolls, but he's a fine punter. Hebert was disturbed with himself in that. He audibilized that play, threw a quick out, completed it, and then realized I needed more than those 5 yards for a first down. He was disturbed with himself.
Dwayne Gunn, the lone safety, back for Los Angeles at the 20. The big 6'5" Talley gets the low snap, but he really hangs a high punt. Fair catch called for by Gunn. He makes it at the 27-yard line of the Los Angeles Express. 10 minutes, 50 seconds to play in the football game here in Oakland. The Invaders 27, the Express 6. First and 10 for Los Angeles, their own 27. Steve Young, a lot of pressure again, throws the ball downfield, incomplete. That's Frank Sire. I thought Young wasn't ambidextrous. I saw that right hand go up, and I said, uh-oh. Frank Sire, who relieved Young last weekend, fired the ball downfield, incomplete. Sire playing under the direction of his former offensive coordinator at Kansas, John Hadel. Hadel was at Kansas when Sire broke all those passing records at the UK.
Passing records with John Hadel had a hand in. There were some fine quarterbacks there. Bobby Douglas, Hadel, now Sire. When Young left last time, he was holding his right elbow. I don't know if it was his elbow or his ribs, or if indeed he was hurt.
So second and 10 now for Los Angeles. Sire 6'2", 200 pounds. Completes it. David Hersey made the reception, but a short gain for the Express. Steve Young, who earlier this season had a knee operation, who's been bothered by a bad thigh, bad ribs. Now we get word he has a pinched nerve in his neck. Not a fine 85 season for Steve Young. He'd like to forget this one. John Hadel also not enjoying this particular USFL season.
Well, it's a tough one, and John's handling it as well as he can. He stays at work hard, and he's certainly not smiling. No man smiles in the face of adversity and means it, and he's not smiling now.
Sire will be in here all the way for the Express as we get word that Young will not return. Flags all over the place. Ed Fisher being charged with the illegal procedure there. The right tackle for the Los Angeles Express, number 67. Fisher has a couple of interesting hobbies for a football player. He loves to work with stained glass and restore antiques. Usually you think of the big burly football player out there hunting ducks and doing stuff, not working with stained glass.
It's the other end of the spectrum is what I was going to say. You beat me to it.
Frank Sire, who was drafted by the California Angels as a shortstop in baseball, drops the throw, and he is stopped short by the Oakland Invaders' Angelo Snipes. Boy, the Invaders are just charging in, having fun.
Angelo Snipes unblocked again. Here he is on the outside of the defensive line, number 59 in blue, coming all the way. Kevin Nelson realizes at the last moment, oops, I should have gotten him. But it's too late. Snipes is by him. Snipes was drafted as a strong safety, put on a little bit of weight, and they made him a linebacker. Nelson was in an untenable position. Snipes was blitzing, so was Oliver Davis. He stepped at Davis. By that time, Snipes was past him.
Jeff Partridge, and there's Sean Faulkner. Good snap. Beautiful kick this time by Partridge. Faulkner backpedaling to the 30-yard line. Goes to the right side, and Faulkner is going to be stopped at the 38-yard line of the Oakland Invaders. 8:57 to play in the football game. Oakland leading the Los Angeles Express handily here, 27-6. And the Invaders will have the football when we come back to the Oakland Alameda Coliseum. Fred Manfra, along with Marv Levy, 12,482 in attendance here for this football game. 8,000 no-shows today.
Well, the weather gets nicer here in the Bay Area, and we'll stay away.
1st and 10 for the Invaders with 8:37 to play. Hebert gives it off to Bentley to the 39-yard line, Albert. And David Howard stops him at that 39-yard line.
Number 65, again, in your screen, the left guard, Reggie Irving, pulling, getting a fine block again on the outside linebacker, and it's a good read of the block by Bentley on that play. Block was against Kevin Turner, who was just activated after being injured for this game.
Reggie Irving playing for a great coach down at Grambling, Eddie Robinson. 2nd and 8 for the Oakland Invaders. Here comes Jordan. Jordan's just waited for his blocks and then squirted through, brought the ball up to the 45-yard line, a couple yards shy of the first down. Fletcher Jenkins there to hit him for the Los Angeles Express.
He uses his blockers well. He's an unhurried runner. He's very patient, and he'll fool you. I'm impressed with the way he runs.
3 yards to go for that first down now. Averaging 5 yards a carry, Eric Jordan, this afternoon. Howell will go to the top of your screen. Derek Holloway splitting, slotting there. Nickelback's in for the Express. Bentley has the first down. He's into Los Angeles territory. Stopped at the 45-yard line. John Higgins and David Howard hit him high and hit him low on the stop, but a first down for the Oakland Invaders.
Bentley here shuffles over to draw play. Number 20, Jordan, leading him through the hole here. It's a lead draw. Bentley running well. He's shifting the ball all over the place, but he hasn't fumbled much this season. Certainly not today. In fact, I don't recall the Invaders having lost a fumble today.
6:31 to play in the football game. The shadows growing long here in Oakland. 1st and 10 for the Invaders at the 45 of Los Angeles. Eric Jordan, look at him go. still on his feet. Jordan wanting to win that spot permanently in the backfield, moving it inside the 30 to about the 26-yard line. Wyman Henderson stopping Eric Jordan.
Jordan looking very good on this. It's a counter-type play. You see Bentley coming this way, Jordan going the other. A very elusive move there. Swivel hip, smooth type of runner. Like Tommy Harmon used to be, which very few of our viewers will remember. I saw some old newsreels once. He runs the same way.
Well, Eric Jordan last year gained over 700 yards. He set 7 Oakland records, tied 5 others, but this year was relegated to backup to John Williams, but now he's getting an opportunity to shine, and he's doing it. First and 10 from the 27. Again, Jordan, this time he is tackled by Alonda Smith. Smith from Texas Christian, TCU. 6'2", 200 pounds, second year in professional football. Had a couple of starts last season with the LA Express. Fast guy. He runs a 4.4840.
Well, they are running this ball a great deal, as you can see. Clock continuing to run, and so far as LA is concerned, it's almost merciful that the clock does continue to run this fast, and the time going off the clock much faster than it has in any of the previous 3 quarters.
4:49 to go in the ball game. Again, Jordan. You hear the grunting and groaning that time as Dwight Drain hit into Jordan. And boy, with that microphone there, we have a flag down on the field, but with that microphone right there, you can really hear the impact of the players.
No question about it. When you're down there playing, you can hear it too.
You can feel it.
There's quite a difference, even as a coach, as an assistant coach, sitting up in the press box after for a few years, and then going down on the field, you forget almost what the game was like.
Holding will be the call against the Oakland Invaders. Yeah, we talked about the sound of pro football, and Marv, the grunting and groaning, as you say, that just makes the atmosphere along that bench.
It's a whole different feel down there, Fred. A completely different feeling. It's a very antiseptic game when you sit up here where we are and where the viewer is watching it. But your perspective and the relationship of players to one another takes on a whole different aspect. I've stood in practice behind the quarterback, and I tell you, I don't know how they ever find their receiver downfield. It's very easy to see up here.
2nd and 18 now for Oakland at their 35. They have a 27-6 lead with 4:07 to play. Bobby Hebert gives it off to Eric Jordan again. Maybe a fumble down there, picked up by, it'll be the Invaders or the Express. We got a big pileup. We'll find out as you do as they untangle the masses at the 29-yard line.
Dwight Drain, about 40 yards away, walks up next to the pile and points, it's our ball. It turns out he's right, but it was a 50-50 guess. I always get a kick out of the guy that comes from way over around the pile and says, our ball.
3:59 to play in the football game here in Oakland. The Invaders 27, the Los Angeles Express 6. I'll tell you, I'll stay up here. You can go down there. I'll stay right up here. I don't want to be involved in any of that stuff.
Anybody that needs a trainer, we will have them available after watching that.
Chiropractor come in handy. 3:48 to play in the football game. Frank Sire directing the attack for the Express. Steve Young injured. Pinched nerve earlier in the ball game. Sire rifles the ball. There it goes. That's how the season has gone for the Los Angeles Express. Right on the hands of Dwayne Gunn. Probably jammed his fingers as he tried to catch the football.
Yes, and you know, an injury could have come from that. It doesn't turn out to be one. But when you have a lot of injuries, you lose. But when you're losing, injuries occur because your concentration on playing the game with enthusiasm, your concentration on execution leaves you, and you become more vulnerable to an injury. This is part of the problem that has plagued the Express this year.
Still 10 yards to go on the second down for Los Angeles. Sire sidearms it incomplete. JoJo Townsell, the intended receiver. Marv, how is a coach, considering all that has gone on in Los Angeles, the ownership problems, the fact that the franchise may have been disbanded, how do you keep your players mentally in the practice and in the game?
Well, I'll tell you, a little while ago I was watching John Hadel, and when his team came off the field, and he was sort of clapping his hands and trying to get them revved up and patting them on the tail, and he's got to convey to them that he still has belief in them, that if when they don't do what he wants them to do, he's unhappy with what they're doing, but he likes them as people. You've got to try and bring them back and give them a sense of worth.
On the third down, Sire goes long, incomplete. Double team down there. The intended receiver, JoJo Townsell, Vito McKeever, and John Sullivan doing a fine job of blanketing JoJo Townsell.
Also, Fred, when their belief that they're going to succeed begins to erode, the only way they're going to get that belief back is when they succeed again. You can fill them full of a lot of words, but pretty soon they get tired of speeches.
Well, there's the picture of dejection. Steve Young. Not Steve Young's stats by any means.
Now, 9 out of 21, of course, low percentage and modest yardage, but it isn't all him when they succeed, and it isn't all him when they don't succeed.
Partridge to punt again. The 6th punt of the afternoon for Partridge. Sean Faulkner deep. A low kick. Faulkner comes up, takes it at the 34, dances away from the tackler at the 35, and then is nailed at the 37-yard line by John Higgins. 3 minutes, 14 seconds remaining in the football game. The Oakland Invaders lead the Los Angeles Express 27-6. Marv Levy, last weekend, prior to the Tampa Bay game, the commissioner of the United States Football League, Harry Usher, gave the Los Angeles Express a bit of a pep talk. Tampa Bay beat the Express before about 4,000 in the Coliseum, but Steve Spurrier and John Bassett of Tampa Bay took exception to that little pep talk.
Well, I think he was trying to buoy the franchise in L.A., and Tampa Bay had been the team which said they would not participate next year. I think they felt a little bit like an orphan in that respect.
Well, stepping high, Jordan picking up a first down at midfield. Dwight Drain tackling Jordan, but Eric is looking fine. That makes up a little bit for his fumble.
You know, earlier you asked, how do you get your team up when they're really down? There is a time for a tongue lashing, but I think you have to assess, are they really being outmanned on the field? And if they are, a tongue lashing doesn't do a lot of good, because, you know, when you start pointing a finger at someone, there are 3 fingers on that hand pointing at yourself. And I think John has avoided pointing his fingers at his players. He has avoided that.
2:15 to play in the football game as Hebert gives it off to Jordan again to the 46-yard line. Ray Caddage, flags all over as we have more heated discussion on the field. We've had quite a few little get-togethers between the Express and the Invaders.
This often happens too. Once the issue is just about decided, and it has been here for a while, now the players still try to show their macho, and they're going to, at least they're not going to win the scoreboard, going to show you they're still plenty darn tough. Somebody got thrown out. Number 90, Fletcher Jenkins.
So Fletcher leaves the ball game with 2 minutes and 6 to play.
He has to go to the locker room. You can't just go over and retire to the bench when you've been ejected. I really didn't see the incident that occurred, so couldn't comment on it.
(27-6), the Oakland Invaders, as expected, dominating this football game over the Los Angeles Express, and the ball will be marched down to the 31-yard line of L.A. First down for the Invaders. Of course, the Invaders are in second place in the West, just a half game behind the Houston Gamblers. And now we have the clock roll down. 2 minutes. 2 minutes warning here. Oakland leading Los Angeles 27-6. Exactly 2 minutes to play in the contest here at Oakland. The Invaders, playing before their smallest crowd ever, a little bit more than 12,000, have a huge advantage, 27-6. They just want that clock to run down without any injury. Bobby Hebert giving it off And carrying the football, Tom Newton, who usually plays on short yardage situations, gets an opportunity to strut his stuff with a little bit of running room as David Howard made the stop on big Tom Newton. Well, they're playing 6 foot, 238 pounds.
They're playing Newton and Jordan now, giving rest to Bentley and John Williams. This is a type of thing. When you're winning late in the game, you pad your rushing statistics. When you're losing late in the game, your passing statistics get worked on. But they're all just statistics right now.
1:23 to play in the contest. Hebert with a flag thrown, gives it off to Jordan. Jordan stopped at the line of scrimmage by Eddie Weaver. 1:12 to go here at the Oakland Alameda Coliseum. Of course, there's a new playoff structure here in the United States Football League for the '85 campaign. And here's the way it will go for you. Got the conference champs, then the runners-up, and then 4 wild card teams. And we have some pretty interesting races for all those spots going on right now.
Well, there are the 8 if the playoffs were tomorrow who would be in it, but there are many of them breathing down their neck. Baltimore, for instance, a half game off that pace.
So that meeting tomorrow will be watched very carefully between Houston and Memphis by the folks here in Oakland. And, of course, that New Jersey-Baltimore meeting in New Jersey will be an important one. And, of course, Birmingham coming up next on ESPN against Portland. The Stallions can't afford a loss.
No one can afford a loss.
Jordan is hit immediately. Howard Carson getting the lick in that time. Howard was second team All-USFL last year. Number 1 tackler on the Express. Played in the National Football League for the Los Angeles Rams.
They've been pulling guards a great deal. This time when they pulled the guard, Carson plugged through the gap that had been vacated by him. The center should block back on him, but Carson hadn't been coming very much during the game, and I think the center was a little bit asleep on the play. Didn't come off to pick him up.
35 seconds remaining in this football game. Oakland will have their 8th win. They've lost 3 and they've tied 1. The Express will drop to 3-9 on the season. Jordan pulled down by Ray Caddis. And we have just 15 seconds, clock running down to the gun. And there are the updated standings in the Western Conference. So that game tomorrow at Memphis will be a very important one for the Oakland Invaders and the Houston Gamblers and Jim Keller. So Charlie Sumner and the Oakland Invaders win here over Los Angeles 27-6.